Testing. We will start in 5 minutes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Boramai, and I will be your MC for today's event. Welcome to Seekers in Dialogue. On behalf of the organizing committee, we extend our appreciation for your presence today. We hope you will find this discussion to be fruitful and engaging. To start our program, please stand at attention for a national anthem, please. Thank you, and may we all be seated. Now, to formally welcome all of us, we would like to invite Ms. Sipo, Deputy Chapter Leader at TVS Cambodia, to give her welcoming remarks. Let us give her a round of applause.
Testing, testing. Okay, so a very good morning, everyone, and to distinguished panelists, as well as ladies and gentlemen here, and also online through our live stream. So, first of all, I would like to express our appreciations to everyone for joining us today, as well as to our partners, SEAA, for supporting our venue here, and for sure, and also AVI for supporting today. So to begin with, let me introduce briefly about TVS. So TVS stands for the Young Seeker Cambodia, and we are the non-profit organization that is founded in Singapore since the early 2020. And with headquarters in Singapore, we currently have all the chapters in all 10 ASEAN countries as well as China. And TVS has been brought to Cambodia in the end of 2020 by our co-founders, Mr. Lam Chai here, and also Miss Lee K.D. So our missions for TVS is to build competence for youth across ASEAN in order to seize the opportunity that's given by the ASEAN. We organize various programs, including Seeker and Dialogue today, as well as various workshops and programs to bring youth to build their skills and discuss on the contentious or important issues that we should all know today. So today we are going to discuss a very timely and relevant topics: the role of youth diplomacy in Cambodia as in Chairmanship. As we all know that today, this year's Cambodia is hosting ASEAN Chairmanship, and in fact, ASEAN is also declared 2022 as the Year of Youth, recognizing the important roles of youth in building peace, making positive change, as well as building people-to-people's bond. So what is the roles of youth in connecting ASEAN as a whole? And what is the role of us in Cambodian Chairmanship 2022? So this will be the question that I leave for you all today, and we are going to find out more answers in today's panel discussion as well. So without further ado, warmly welcome again, and we hope that we will have a wonderful discussion today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bon, for your beautiful remarks. As we are about to start today's event, allow me to introduce TVS Cambodia. The Young Seekers Cambodia chapter, TVS Cambodia, is a national chapter of the Young Seekers. Headquartered in Singapore, TVS is a non-profit organization that brings together vibrant, competent ASEAN youth who are passionate about advancing the ASEAN-China region. Our mission is to build a regional community of passionate seekers and provide them with complementary programs to maximize their cross-border competencies. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning once again, and welcome to Seekers in Dialogue. Our event today will be focusing on the topic of the role of youth diplomacy for Cambodia's ASEAN Chairmanship 2022. But what is Seekers in Dialogue? Seekers in Dialogue, or SID, is a flagship program of the Young Seekers Cambodia chapter. It encouraged an open, semi-formal discussion among speakers and audiences. It allowed Cambodian and ASEAN youth to get insight on the discussed topic and to learn from respective experts in the fields. So you may relax, enjoy, and learn of what we have lined up for you in this upcoming panel discussion. Now the long wait is over. We welcome you to the panel discussion. Here we have our moderator, Ms. Sinuan, Digital Communication Officer at TVS Cambodia, and our three honorable panelists. Mr. Thong Meng David, Research Fellow at the Mekong Center for Strategic Studies of the Asian Vision Institute, or AVI. Mr. Ngol Sambat, Project Coordinator at Politic Coffee. Mr. Lam Chai, Project Manager for Foreign Policy at Conrad Adenauer Stiftung, Cambodian Officer of GAS Cambodia. Please welcome our moderator and our honorable panelists to the stage. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Okay. Testing, testing. So, am I audible now? Yes. So thank you. So very good morning, our distinguished panelists and our guests and our audience from Facebook Live. So welcome to our panel discussion that today we're gonna focus on our topic, which focus on the role of youth diplomacy for Cambodia's ASEAN Chairmanship 2022. So before we start our panel discussion, I would like to restate our objective for SID today. So we aim to achieve three objectives or aim to achieve three main goals for in SID. So the first is to solicit a deeper understanding of Cambodia's ASEAN chairmanship, and second, to identify opportunity and possible threat with Cambodia's position on Flashpoint, and lastly, to comprehend a bilateral basis and regional centrality and its effect. So before our panel discussion, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sinuan. I am Digital Communication in TYS Cambodia with our three panelists. So before our question and discussion, I would like to give the floor to our panelists to introduce themselves and give your expression toward SID and our topic as a whole. So I would like to give the floor to Bong Sambat first.
Okay, very good morning. Thank you, Sinun, for your kind introduction. So first of all, allow me to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Sombat. I am currently a senior student majoring in political science and international relations at Paragon University. And right now, I am a project coordinator at a youth group called Party Coffee, which is a group that enthusiastic to talk about politics and also political issues. And we conduct our forum at Conrad Adenauer Stiftung Cambodia, CAS Cambodia. So CAS is very kind to support us in terms of venue and refreshment for us to conduct our forum weekly. That is the reason why I see Bong Chai, who's sitting right here in and out at his office oftentimes, because we usually go to Conrad area to conduct a forum. So this is our activity that I mostly do, which means I involve a lot of activity with youth, and I hope that we can exchange our perspective with our fellow guest speaker here, Lokru David and also Bong Chais, and I'm looking forward for a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bong. So, Bong David, you may have the floor, Bong.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Sinun, for your kind introductions. My name is Thongmain David, and I'm a research fellow at the Mekong Center for Strategic Study at ABI, and I'm also the lecturer at DAS as well. So as we already know that the ABI is one of the leading think tanks in Cambodia. Right now, we have a lot of projects that tend to promote like a foreign policy formulation and also to help our government toward our Asian chairmanship this year. And I would like to thank the young thinkers for inviting ABI and me to participate in this dialogue. Okay, I hope we will have a fruitful discussion today with all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong. So, Bong Chai, you may have the floor, Bong.
Very good morning. My name is Chai, and happy to be back because I was the former chapter leader of the Young Seeker as well, together with my colleague Lee Kedi, who's now in Germany. Happy to see faster growth of the Young Seeker, because when we founded in 2020, it was the first phase of the COVID-19 outbreak, and everything was online. Now, with the phase of the COVID-19 recovery, we are able to host this kind of dialogue in person. I remember that year we hosted a lot of Seekers dialogue by Zoom, by Facebook live stream. So yes, happy to be back to the Young Seeker, especially to join the Seekers in Dialogue. And I'm currently, because when I left the Young Seekers, I still stand as the advisor of the Young Seekers to still want to engage with our amazing people. And I'm currently the program manager for foreign affairs or foreign policy at Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, which is a international German political foundation. Also one of the top 10 think tank in Europe. We are operating worldwide and more than 190 offices around the world. So at the moment, we are working for the foreign policy research, and also ABI is our core partner as well in terms of international relations project. And the topic of ASEAN chairmanship, it's quite relevant to the work of CAS Cambodia this year as well, especially under my project. We discuss a lot. We produce the policy research. We also discuss about the topic of ASEAN chairmanship. And youth engagement is one of the focus, which is another department at CAS. So I think it's a very good topic to raise the awareness, so to stimulate the thinking that what should be the role of youth diplomacy, and looking forward to the discussion today. Thank you, Sinun.
Thank you, Bang Chai. Thank you for bringing TYS to Cambodia. And yeah, now, without further ado, I would like to move to our first question. So, as we know that Cambodia is the ASEAN chair for 2022. So, what is the milestone that ASEAN and Cambodian youth as a whole they expect to see from Cambodia? So, I would like to give this question to Bong David.
Okay, thank you, Sinun, for the question. First of all, regarding to this question, we need to look at our ASEAN theme for this year, which is ACT, or Addressing Challenging Together. So this means that ASEAN this year is trying to mobilize all of the Asian members as well as our dialogue partner to address and solve our regional issue. So far as we already know that the ASEAN is facing a lot of problem. And last year, we already know that there's a very big issue that happened in Myanmar, the coup, which happened in February 2021. And this issue is very sensitive and very dangerous, that it has become a wound of Asian, because as we already know that the Myanmar crisis has been here for a long time. So for this year, as a chair of Asians, Cambodia is trying to solve the problem of the Myanmar along with our members. So far, aside from a Myanmar crisis, we also have the problem with the South China Sea, and we also focusing on some kind of a non-traditional issue regarding to the regional problems such as piracy, human trafficking, weapon trafficking, or climate change and water security. So these are the main issues that Cambodia as a chair need to address and need to mobilize and to seek a consensus from all member states in order to resolve this problem together as one, as the ASEAN family.
Thank you, Bong, for your answer. So, Bang Chai, you may answer this question, Bong.
To me, yeah, we discuss a lot about the challenges, the milestone, like you said. Now it's already mid-year, and with also the upcoming of the ASEAN foreign minister by end of this month as well. There's more to expect, and many people put an eye on Cambodia as the chair of ASEAN, because I would say it was earlier a bit unfortunate that we take over the chairmanship during the time that the world faced so many challenges. I would say if you look in a broader view, that international relations in the 21st century, if you compare, I would say our people face the greatest challenge, not to mention the intense strategic competition of the major powers. I'm getting a bit into IR. It's like the COVID-19, and now we're discussing the recovery plans, the ASEAN reopening, and also travel arrangement and all of this. And then we have Myanmar crisis. And after the Myanmar crisis is still going on, and we have the situation in Ukraine, and also now is trying to create this kind of different perceptions which side that you should support and all of this. Cambodia is still small, but I think we still manage it well at the moment because we are able to host many important meetings and also able to coordinate. And I hope by the end of years and more fruitful outcomes will also be produced during the ASEAN Foreign Minister meeting, and we also have Defense Minister Plus and ASEAN Summit at the end of the year. But later on, we can discuss what is the role of non-state actor. Not only the works of the government, not all of the work should be borne by the government, but also what should be the participation and inclusive works by other non-state actors that can support this.
Okay, thank you, Bong. So we can see like there are many issues that in 2022 Cambodia as chairman have to solve, and this part I would like to like connect it to the second question, which is Cambodia as an ASEAN chairman, like as Bong Thai and Bong David have said, like we have faced many issues like Myanmar crisis, water security, climate change, and we still manage to coordinate the meeting and initiate many important meetings. So as an ASEAN chairman, what is the possibility, like, what is the possible opportunities and threats that Cambodia will face as an ASEAN chair? So I would like to give this question to Bong Sambat. Bong.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. When we talk about the opportunity, there's going, to be a lot of changes and also the emergence of, something that maybe we're not thinking of right now. It's about the ASEAN integration. Because Cambodia this year, we play a very important role in the integration of the member state, especially in terms of the emergence of the power of youth in terms of technology and digitalization. So at this point, I would like to tell you what I have talked with Her Excellency Dr. Chiasarai the other day, the Director General of the National Bank of Cambodia at the French Embassy. We changed quite a lot about how our youth in ASEAN, they now can connect with each other. Because maybe most of you already noticed that we're trying to use this kind of technology where we can scan QR code, KXUR, to other member states in ASEAN, and they're now testing with QR in Thailand. So that means that the opportunity that as the ASEAN chair this year is that we can introduce this kind of innovation in a way where we can connect each other by using this technology. That means that we can play an important role in integrating this new platform as a digitalization to connect all of us here in Southeast Asia. And it's also bring me to the idea of, because maybe in class, in university, we talk a lot about, a single currency, like, how can ASEAN have this kind of common or identity, the same identity, because in EU, the people, they have, the privilege saying that, I'm from European Union, I use euro as the currency. But here in ASEAN, I think the opportunity is that we can connect each other by using, the same digital platform where we can, for example, we scan QR code and then that's it. We can go to other country and use the same. We don't have to change the currency anymore. So I think yes, this is the opportunity that I can see as the ASEAN chair. That means that if we success in terms of connect people by using this innovation, I think it's going to be successful. And for the challenges and threat, well, I think Bong Chai and also Local David already mentioned already that the emergence of the political issue and also security issue at the Ukraine crisis and also the Myanmar crisis, I think it's still entrenched, how a struggle we are as not as only Cambodia but also ASEAN member state as a whole. So that's what I can share with this particular question. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong. So, Bong David, could you answer this, Bong?
Okay, thank you, Sinun and Sambat, for your input regarding to this problem. So we're talking about the threats. So there are two kinds of threats here for Cambodia. First of all, is internal and external. So we know that ASEAN has been a very divisive regional organization because first of all we have a lot of like political system from different country members. Secondly, we have the economic gaps between the developed and the developing Asian country. And last but not least, regarding to the Myanmar crisis, we have some kind of at the first stage we have some misperception regarding to how to implement the 5-point consensus. So we know that the mainland Asian focus mainly on confident buildings and a step-by-step approach in order to break the ice of the Myanmar leader in allowing Asians, special envoys, to come to visit to Myanmar to solve the problem. However, for the maritime Asian, they focus mainly to impose this 5-point consensus to allow the special envoy to directly go to Myanmar and meet with all relevant party. So we can see that this is just a small, like 3 internal threats that Asian is facing right now that we need like to explain. And this take time and patience to implement this kind of things. Regarding to the opportunity, we can see that Cambodia as the ASEAN this year, we tend to trying to, first of all, to promote the Asian region as the bridge to connect between EU or the other parts of the country toward Asian. In the face of the COVID-19, we know that the world is recovering, but the pandemic is still there. So we need to try to find out or to sort a way to formulate the policy that give the advantage or the economic benefit for the regions. Secondly, regarding to the Ukraine-Russian war, it has caused a lot of problem. It has affects the global, regional security architecture. We know that our world peace is very fragile nowadays, and the war also caused the global financial crisis as well as the inflation, the increasing price of petroleum or food supply and the supply chains across the world. So we know that this kind of problem, only us as the ASEAN or Cambodia need to mobilize, need to try to find a way with the support from the ASEAN member state as well as our dialogue partner to focus how to resolve this problem according to international law and a peaceful manner. Okay, yes, thank you.
So thank you, Bong. So as we have, as Bong mentioned, like there are so many opportunity, like the digitalization and technology, as Bong Sambat have said about the currency connection between ASEAN country and as well as the connectivity from ASEAN to EU, and another like challenges as Bong Cha have also mentioned, yeah, like Myanmar crisis and yeah. All the previous ones. So right now we move to our topic that we focus about the youth diplomacy role. So I have seen one article of Bong Chai in TYS about the youth diplomacy, right, Bong? So I would like to ask you, like, what would you describe youth diplomacy and what can be the example of youth diplomacy, Bong?
Thank you. I would say youth diplomacy is not becoming a formal concept yet in the discipline of international relations. Normally, the theory or the concepts existing in the literature, it's defined by the scholar and they have a specific framework. It was only the informal term that we're trying to engage youth in the diplomacy field. It's very simple term. But then you look at the example, like you asked the example. Let me get back to the history a bit of the ASEAN and also how ASEAN advocate youth engagement into its platform. ASEAN was founded as a intergovernmental organization, or we call it more like on the top-down approach. And ASEAN was not put youth in the first priority at the very first phase of inception. It was until later on with the establishment of the ASEAN Foundation, and later on they try to engage the concept of the people into the ASEAN official statement. Before the ASEAN Charter was drafted in 2007, the Eminent Person Group, they drafted the term and also they come up with the term of people-oriented and later on people-centered ASEAN community. So sometimes if you wish to understand the concept, it's a bit challenging for us because all of the English term and ASEAN sometimes is very wording. They use a lot of fancy words that when you read the ASEAN statement, you take time to understand. The official document of ASEAN, it take a bit time to understand, especially for our youth. People-oriented, they try to put people at the core of the policy making in ASEAN, but it was a bit conflict of the term when they misinterpret people-oriented as a mass mobilization of the people, which contradicts to the firstly the core objective of ASEAN. Secondly, it's contradict to the somehow the law of a few ASEAN member states that mass mobilization is not allowed in few countries in ASEAN. So it can be interpreted to an extremist extreme term. So that's why they come up with the people, firstly people center and then go to people oriented. The two terms must be used together. And later on when we see Malaysia chair the ASEAN 2015, I remember the declaration on people center and people oriented. So the two terms come together, ASEAN community. And why are we talking about this? Because when ASEAN tried to shift a little bit the objective and also the involvement of young people into the policy making, and also considering the benefits of ASEAN for all people, not only the government level, but also in the grassroots level as well. That is why more and more students and young people in Southeast Asia, they started to prioritize and discussing a lot about youth diplomacy. And I wrote a chapter for firstly CAS book and also CICP book on ASEAN Chairmanship. The youth diplomacy, there's many examples now. Even young seeker can also be considered as one of the example for youth diplomacy. It's how you utilize the power of young people to promote such a country reputation or ASEAN chairmanship reputation. Cambodia in the past would say the past chairmanship, you see, media was not developed. 2002, we didn't have social media. It was not widespread. And I think this third time of chairmanship, we have everything, social media, the powers of young people and more active role of youth to promote the awareness. And we talk a lot about ASEAN chairmanship to let people know. You know, I met some Southeast Asian friends, they don't even know that Cambodia is hosting ASEAN this year. So some of them know, but they don't really focus much that what we're going to talk about in the ASEAN summit, what's matter for them. Actually, it's matter. And the other example, even the program that you change, the exchange program, I mean, the program that you join. For example, in 2019, I joined the Young ASEAN Leaders Policy Initiative in Chulalongkorn University. Why I mentioned this program, I think it's very good one because they show you how young people can participate in the policy making, not only for Thai government, but also for the ASEAN. What the objective was that they gather potential young people in Southeast Asia to discuss the trending topic in Southeast Asia. And they teach you how to make policy basically. And they teach you the policy formulation, what are the thinking skill, for example, the critical thinking skill, the design thinking skill, how you can put your inputs into the policy making and all of this. After a few days of training and we come up with a policy paper, we actually submitted the policy paper to the Royal Thai government. And the Royal Thai government review it, they submit to the ASEAN. Also bring the topic and also input into the discussion table of the ASEAN meeting. So this is how the voice of youth can actually indirectly impact the policy making in the ASEAN level. And ASEAN regularly also have, but I observed that in recent years, maybe because of COVID, they didn't have this kind of ASEAN leader interface meeting with youth, where they gather the representative, youth representative from each ASEAN country to meet in person with the state leader and express the concern and all of that. And you see how diplomacy can involve for both actor, from non-state actor to state actor, to you see the interplay role of between the two actors together to discuss, so that the benefits and opportunity can be a bit more inclusive. And if you notice the ASEAN Secretariat, they have the slogan when where they define one sentence. What is ASEAN community? Is a community of the opportunities for all. So that means we see the commitment and the progress of involving non-state actor into the ASEAN matters and ASEAN affairs. Yeah, would make this.
Thank you, Wong, for your concise about youth diplomacy and the example of youth diplomacy as like it is like a big voice for all people that benefit from ASEAN as a whole. And Wong Sambat, do you have any answer about that, Wong?
Yes, thank you so much. I think Bong Chai already covered a lot of things about the term youth diplomacy already. What I would like to add on is about the, I want to break down the term between the word youth and diplomacy, and I would like to explain one by one what is youth and what is diplomacy. So the term youth, according to the UN, they define a group of population from the age of 15 to 24. But according to the ASEAN Youth Development Index, they define youth as a group of people, a group of population between the age of 15 to 35. So let's use the term from the ASEAN, because right now we're talking about the ASEAN, so it makes sense that we use the ASEAN data. So yes, youth and the word diplomacy, actually the people of IO may understand it from the first year at university, right? It's some define it as a skill and some define it as a method to actually influence the foreign government and also the people through dialogue, negotiation, so on and so forth. And diplomacy, actually, the evolution of it before is that only the high level people or people in the government or head of states or those people, they can influence the diplomatic process, and not many people can actually go there and also influence that process as well. But the term, however, it's actually the term, we can define it as a traditional diplomacy. And right now what we can talk is the modern diplomacy, where not only the head of states or the high level people that can participate in the decision-making process, but also the people, the youth, and also people who believe that, okay, they want to propose to the government or want to influence the government to have the attention on them. That is the reason why it coincides with Bong Chai have mentioned the emergence of the role of non-state actors and civil society, because in this century, because right now youth, they are the dominant population of the regions. I think in ASEAN, we have around 200 millions of youth, and if we put them together, let's say in Cambodia, we don't really have much space to provide to them. So it is important that ASEAN right now, they pay more attention to youth, and that is the reason why youth themselves, they believe that because they play a very important role for the future, for the decision making that benefit for them and for their future. That is the reason why the immersion of the initiative in order to influence and benefit to them. That is the reason why I think youth diplomacy emerged. And the example of it may be less like TYS Cambodia. We trying to create dialogues. We creating the opportunity for us to discuss, and I think this is also a very good example in explaining to achieve the greater goal and the greater good up there in decision making in ASEAN. So this is my take. Thank you.
So thank you, Bong, about like clarifying what is youth diplomacy. So as Bong mentioned about like how ASEAN focus on youth diplomacy now, like even the ASEAN community, they have their their statement about the youth diplomacy. So my question that connected to your speech, like what are the important steps that ASEAN can take to strengthen the youth diplomacy, like the ASEAN youth diplomacy to connect to the rest of the world. So I would like to give this and like question to Bong David Bong.
Regarding to the importance of the youth in promoting and support the state foreign policy, I think each of us have our own roles and responsible regarding to our nations, especially to promote our national interests. And for youth, for this era, technological era, that we had so much exposure to the outside world compared to the first Asian Championship that we doing since 2002, it's very different. So we know that the people power, especially the youth power, play a very important role in formulating the foreign policy of the state, because in case of Cambodia, we have over like 50% of our total population are youth. So we can see that the power of our youth, or we can see the next generation leaders of our country, they all have their own roles as a responsibility in order to promote or to navigate, to explore, and have a lot of opportunity to work with the elders or the old peoples, older generation, regarding how to promote, how to formulate, how we can take advantage of what is happening within our country and outside our country, and sourcing them by formulating the foreign policy that benefit the interests of all. Because we all, as we already know, that states focus mainly on our own like state interests, and in case of Cambodia, we know like we have no like eternal enemy. We have only friends. So youth has a need to prepare themselves by give them more opportunity. For example, like the young seeker or the cast, they tend to promote a lot of like youth empowerment, that allowing them and giving them the opportunity to show themselves, to explore, and to reflect what they have learned in the class into a practical things. So we know that we need to empower them more, because they are the next leader of our country.
Yeah, thank you, Bong. So I also would like to direct this question to Bong Chai. Bong. So what are the important steps that ASEAN can take to strengthen?
I have 2 points. I'm not sure if the 2 points really respond to that question. Hope so. Firstly, if you ask, can ASEAN consider youth diplomacy as the big priorities, or can youth diplomacy be successful in ASEAN? And the answer is depends on how the ASEAN government, the respective government of ASEAN member state, how committed they are and how open they are. So when you talk about youth involvement, do you open the space for youth to involve, right? And if you talk about the youth voice, do you open the space for youth to express their voice? And how much they can take in the voice of youth into consideration, especially into the policy formulation, stuff like this. It depends on how both sides complement with each other. Like we open, we take in, we open the space for you to express. If you have the good idea, okay, talk to us as the government, we can take in. And as the ASEAN level, we will bring your voice into the table of discussion. Second, it depends on how youth perform. And if you consider a bit, if youth involvement and youth empowerment is too strong, I use the term too, and they can also be the victim. Sometimes youth is persuaded by the extremist group. So actually young people can turn into the members of extremist group. And if you look at the terrorist group in Southeast Asia, youth also accounted quite a large percentage as the member of terrorist group. And what happened to that when youth is too extremist, you see? So it depends, like I said in the first point, if the government has the proper policy and proper the strategy how to engage youth in the right platform, not in the wrong way, educate them in the right way. Sometimes they receive the wrong education, they receive the wrong idea, it can them into an extremist youth. And extremist youth is so scary. it's not contribute much to the youth diplomacy. So that's why the success and the important step of ASEAN need to consider these 2 points. Yes, I have only these 2 points.
So thank you, Wong, for your concise answer about like how ASEAN can strengthen youth diplomacy. Like you raised 2 points. Like well, it's depends on ASEAN member state and as well as youth themselves whether they are influenced by extreme group or they can turn to terrorist group. Which is very dangerous to ASEAN region as a whole. So we move back to youth diplomacy in Cambodia. So as a youth in Cambodia, so what is the role of Cambodian youth in building collective ASEAN identity? So I would like to give this question to Bong Sambat.
Okay, thank you. So the role of youth here in Cambodia. Well, I think what I would like to mention here is that right now, if we take a look at the percentage of the population who are under the age of 35, it's actually make to 60%. However, for youth here in Cambodia, they must know their role, what role they are playing in the society and also in ASEAN. So I think the first role that they think they should take a look is number one is about their performance and their capacity to compete with other member states, compete with fellow ASEAN member states. So because as you know that Cambodia is the youngest country in Southeast Asian nations. So I think what youth should focus on is to actually take up or reach the point where youth in other member states they are where they are right now. So when we take a if we take a look at the competitive index and also the competition of the youth between Cambodia and ASEAN, we don't really have a very good rank in the list. So I think this is the first one is to focus on our performance, our ability in order to keep up with others. The second one is that they can create the initiatives that they think that it's impactful and also useful for their society or their community as a whole. So what I would like to mention here is a little bit about our activity at Baltic Coffee. So although it just is a youth group, informal group, we're not registered yet. We're trying to engage important stakeholders and also the youth to talk about important issues so that we can have the solution and we can keep up the current issues. So it is important for us to understand the current context of the society so that we can understand more about what we want and what we're trying to do for our futures. So this is number two. And regarding my last point or the third point of the role of youth in Cambodia is that get more exposures. Because here in Cambodia, we may understand only the context of Cambodia, but when we try to find new opportunity or new exchange to other countries in Southeast Asia, I think it is very important for us to, build up the identity, what we want as a whole in ASEAN.
So thank you, Bong, for your answer about like how Cambodian youth do to make the collective ASEAN identity. So Mong Thai, would you answer this, Bong?
I also have 2 points again. The first point is that it depends on you how you decide yourself. In Khmer term, we say what we call that in English, baby bamboo, right? Something like that. If you want to be the good baby bamboo, or you want to be the tumpeng that cái kho, that's in Khmer. So I always use the two terms like tumpeng snong rusai or tumpeng kho chương chru. So it depends on you to decide. If you are good, the baby bamboo will grow into a very good bamboo in the future. If you're not, then you will be cut and cooked. So this is first point, the role of Cambodian youth. In the context of Cambodia, our population is also quite young. And it's a key goal for social economic development. You see the mushroom of SME startup, the tech firm, all founded by young people, very potential young people to study in Cambodia, and they study abroad and they come back, initiate something better and something related to digitalization, e-commerce platform, and all of this technology thing, which is not really my field, but I admire that. So we can see that they actually can be a key goal for Cambodia's social economic development. And how does that contribute to ASEAN identity? I think our youth is active enough, but don't be too active. Um, we are active in terms of joining international conference, regional programs. That's actually the ASEAN identity. If you ask how many people would define themselves as the ASEAN citizen or Cambodian citizens, I'm not sure with other country, but in Cambodia, at CAS, we conducted a research called opinion polls. Last year, we also did one, but not focused on youth, focused on general population. It's an opinion poll that we launched in provinces across Cambodia. And this year, we quite a bit focused on young people as well. There was one question that I put out that, do you know ASEAN? And you see the respondent almost, if I remember correctly, up to more than 80%, already up to 90%. Then they responded, yes, they know ASEAN. And the second question is that would they consider themselves as the ASEAN citizen? Also 80 to 90% that they responded yes. They consider themselves as the ASEAN citizen. So I think at this point, Cambodia can be a good example of how contributed to ASEAN identity. And when I go out to meet Southeast Asian friends, you ask them, how many people would say, I'm from Cambodia, that's why I'm ASEAN. The same to other country. I'm from Thailand, that's why I'm ASEAN. I'm from Indonesia, that's why I'm ASEAN. Depends on how they respond. If they consider ASEAN identity is their own identity, if they're willing to open that, I think it's nothing conflicting to our own national identity. You are still Cambodian. It's just another new identity that you are ASEAN. It's the same when you try to promote the global goal. They said you are global citizen. This is a global community. The SDG is for all. It's the same for ASEAN. If you are Cambodian, then you're ASEAN. If you're part of ASEAN identity. It's in the UN term that they promote the global citizen. That means the goal for all the identity that you have only one common identity, that you want to see the world peace, you want to see the world stability and all of this. I think in ASEAN now, it's also a bit of progress that they put the efforts on the project implementation, specifically focused on youth, led by ASEAN Foundation. They even have the hashtag, think ASEAN, feel ASEAN. You need to think about ASEAN and you feel you're ASEAN. If you have the sense of belonging, you have the motivation to engage. If you don't feel, even in a small team like this, if you don't see yourself belongs to TYS, you would not work for TYS, right? You see, if you promote the sense of belonging, you feel that you are attached to this group. So you put your efforts. The same in ASEAN. If you feel ASEAN, you work for ASEAN. And that would be the next question, I think, when we discuss about what will you get in return. I will put that after. So just make this point.
So thank you, Bong. So, Bong David, would you answer this question, Bong? Okay.
So regarding how to we as Asians people or young people, we know that the role of youth is very important to promote our national identity. But as Chai has mentioned and Sabat have mentioned, that we need to promote like the Asian identity through the concept or the motion of the sense of belonging. Because if you do not have sense of belonging, you cannot promote your agenda, or you cannot work that fully, 100% fully. So in terms of that, we ASEAN community need to promote the people-centric approach or any people-centric initiative mostly focusing on exchanging program or scholarship or many youth international conference like Chai has participated before the COVID-19. So since right now we tend to open our Asian community for travel during this pandemic, I think the Asian member state, including Cambodia, should be consider like promoting this kind of activity that allowing youth to travel across the Asians within the member states so that we can promote our ideas, concept, norm, and value, and as the ASEAN as a whole. Yes.
So thank you both for giving the answer about how Cambodian youth do to make the ASEAN identity. Like first thing first, you have to have the sense of belonging that you are the ASEAN citizens. And for Cambodia, we can be a good example. Like as Bong Chai have mentioned, he did the research, and more than 80% to 90% of Cambodian youth they regard themselves or they see themselves as the ASEAN citizens. And for Bong Sambat, he mentioned like 3 points of making the ASEAN identity. First thing first, about focus on our performance, and second about the create the initiative that can connect to important stakeholders that we can make or achieve our main goal with them. And lastly, about his point is do more exploration, which it's also connected to Bong Chai's answer about join international conference and any other exchange program that can connect us as Cambodian youth to other ASEAN youth as a whole. So as we talk a lot about the youth diplomacy in ASEAN and how can Cambodian youth do to make the ASEAN identity. So what is the positive consequences of those ASEAN youth by creating the ASEAN identity? So I would give this question to Bong Chai first.
Firstly, before I answer that, I would like to have a critical point on the identity itself. I would like to add a bit when Bong David mentioned about the scholarship opportunity and exchange program. I think of one problem in ASEAN now. I don't think ASEAN is doing enough in terms of exchange program and scholarship. ASEAN needs to do more. If you compare with the EU, because it's related to the problem of identity, you want to have common identity, you need to talk to each other. If you don't talk, you don't have identity. You don't understand each other. The thing for ASEAN is to have a closer people-to-people ties. Put people together, let them talk, exchange the idea, promote the mutual understanding. That's even better for the future of ASEAN. When it comes to any problem, it's easy to discuss, easy to negotiate, easy to exchange the perspective. And why I said it's not enough, because I see firstly, the different curriculum. If you study in Cambodia, can you compare that you study in Singapore? Can you compare with the curriculum? If it's not, it doesn't mean that we still have, I mean the gaps. You talk about economic development gaps. Even education also has the gap, comparing among the ASEAN member states. And if you look at the Erasmus program, in the EU, they have this kind of similar curriculum. If you go to exchange, how much credit you need to transfer back when you back to home university. Some university in our region, they don't agree yet with the common contents of the curriculum. If you have exchange, you know, some course, even you have the same major in that university and you come back, the credit is not the same. So that means we have the gaps of the education curriculum. And we're not doing enough because we lack of a bit of exchange opportunity. We need to agree on each other what kind of ASEAN identity is that in terms of education, people-to-people exchange, people-to-people ties, study opportunity and all of this. Because I joined Thailand program, the exchange program in Thailand. So I feel that actually, to be honest, the government actually, they put efforts in promoting the ASEAN scholarship. To promote the ASEAN awareness and all of this for ASEAN people, the opportunity for ASEAN young people. I would also encourage other countries to see this opportunity to have more frequent exchange. We still see a bit lack of that. how many ASEAN students studying in Cambodia now? And how many Cambodian students study in Singapore, in Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia? We have, but not a big number. Like the people to people mobility, like in the EU. Sometimes this semester they go to France, and this semester they go to Belgium, and they come back to Germany, to Switzerland, all of this. A frequent exchange actually make them feel attached and closer tie. And that's also an important point, contribute to constructing the ASEAN identity. Depends on how frequent you talk, frequent you exchange the idea to promote the mutual understanding and all of this. Yeah. And the earlier question, it's the positive consequence, right? I would like to make it short. If you don't know ASEAN, you lack of opportunities. Now you live in an interconnected world and deeper ASEAN regional integration. You're not only living in Cambodia, but also try to explore and engage with other people in our region. This region is dynamic region and full of potential opportunities. If you can engage, you can grab. One small example, I would say, when I was in year 2, I was also a bit lazy to study, you know. People always have their own lazy time. Sometimes you feel lazy, you don't have motivation to study. Go out and explore with Southeast Asian people, come back with stronger motivation. I was in year 2, I joined the ASEAN Youth Exchange Program in Chulalongkorn. They have the ASEAN Week. The ASEAN Week is a full week of ASEAN lecture. They teach you a lot about ASEAN topic, everything about ASEAN. And year 2, you know, year 2 student, we didn't know much about ASEAN. I come back with a stronger motivation to study ASEAN because I realized that the year 2 students from other countries in ASEAN, they know much more than me. You see, this kind of, when you meet potential people, you will get strong motivation to study hard. Come back with the motivation to study more about ASEAN. This is one example. When you ask about positive consequence, there's opportunity. If you engage, you come back with stronger motivation, you study hard, and it's a lot of benefits you can get from exchange program, from the conference, talk to other people, other students. You can get a lot of ideas. Don't put yourself or don't close yourself into a specific area, but then you go out, explore, and more ideas. You come back with more innovative and creative idea for your study, for your professional career, and also a wider network. You have friends in Singapore. You have small benefits that sometimes you go to Thailand, you don't sleep hotel, sleep at your home, friend's home. So that can be one of the example that but no, out of joking, but that's also the benefit that you can explore by connecting with the region, the positive consequence. Yeah.
So thank you, Bong, for your answer about the positive consequences. So Bong Samat, can you answer that, Bong?
Well, thank you. Well, for the positive consequences that I think through people-to-people exchange, I think I would like to touch on the long-term one because right now, as you know, that we're not really that close in terms of you know, how close we are with Indonesia, Malaysia. We don't really understand what they're thinking. But if ASEAN become more connected and build more people-to-people connectivity, like Bong Chai said, also scholarships to exchange program, what I can see is the future. Because right now we just students, we just, Cambodian youth, Thai youth, or Indonesian youth that they join a conference with other ASEAN members. That means that in the next 20 or 30 years, most of them, or maybe some of them, they will become the minister or maybe the one in high ranking in their government. So that means that in the future, we're going to know each other more. This is the positive consequences that we want to see. That means that, for example, okay, maybe Bong Chai become the minister of, let's say, of the foreign affairs. So when they go to join the meeting, for example, in Brunei or in Indonesia, and he see his friends that he used to join a program together in Thailand. So that means that this situation, the decision making, and also is actually create more a friendly discussion or a friendly response toward that. So yes, the positive consequences is creating the leaders and also a much friendly and also much closer with each other. So this is what I want to say.
So thank you, Bong, for your answer about like how how ASEAN can get the positive consequences. Like they can engage more, they can get the ideas, like the motivation to study hard when they like go abroad, or make the mutual understanding between people and people, and sometimes they can correct the misunderstanding between country and country as well, especially in youth. So the last question that I would like to ask Bong Bong is like it's quite sensitive, but as a young generation, I would like to know your idea. So the question is like, what is the role of China in Cambodia's diplomatic decision making? So I would like to give this question to Bong David.
Can you clarify a bit about how the impacts of Chinese?
My question is, what is the role of China in Cambodia's diplomatic decision making? Yes, Bong.
So it's a very quite sensitive, right? It's a very tough question regarding to. Yes, as we already know that Cambodia-China relation is quite good since we have what we call the comprehensive strategic partnership, which is the highest level of partnership between the two countries. And we already know that China has been invest a lot of uh, um, money, right, to rebuild our Cambodia infrastructure, such as road, health, and provides a lot of like COVID vaccines, a very immediate COVID vaccine in order to alleviate or to contain the spreading of the COVID-19 in our country. So regarding to how does it influence Cambodia decision makings level? Actually, if you look at the top level of the decision making level or foreign policy decision making level, we know that Cambodia is not the only has only China as a friend. We have a lot like a dialogue partner or a comprehensive partner like with Japan, with South Korea, with EU, with United States. So just because China play more role or more active than other countries, that means we do not have any like good relation or have more engagement with other countries. We still have promotes a lot like activity or initiative with our foreign partners as well, such as EU, Japan, and South Korea, and a lot of our Asian countries as well. So to sum up, it's just because that those of the Chinese initiative or investment align with what our national interest of what we need most. So that's why we tend to engage more with China, but that doesn't mean China has big influence on our decision making or any our foreign policy. Because whatever we do, whatever policy that we set out, it's just because for our own national interest, and we will remain a neutral state and be friends with all countries.
So thank you, Bong. So Bong Chai, would you answer this question, Bong?
Can accept the question from our audience at this time.
Okay. I think it's now the time is up as well. So any question from the audience? You can raise your hand up, yeah, and we will give the microphone to you. Or do we have any like the question from the Facebook audience?
Uh, yeah, hi Sinod. So actually the question is from our online audience. So the question is, our government have introduced the first year of ASEAN Youth. So what does it mean, refer to the first year of ASEAN Youth? What does it mean for ASEAN Youth and ASEAN?
Should I reframe the question? So the questions again is that our government have introduced the first year of ASEAN Youth. What does it mean for ASEAN youths and ASEANs? This is the question from our online audience.
So, Bong,
I think it's not the name is the Year of ASEAN. And coincidentally, the EU also put the Year of Youth, the Year of Youth for ASEAN and EU as well, not only in the context of Cambodia, but because of this year chairmanship. So if you say the Year of Youth, it's very simple ways that we celebrate the youth engagement. We advocate for youth involvement in ASEAN and also the EU. But the thing is, what does it mean for young people? For the chairmanship event, we have the side event of the chairmanship, which is operated and organized by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport. So they try to support the chairmanship. So basically the main event is by Foreign Ministry, but the side event for the social cultural affairs by Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, that they organize some mix of the event for young people to engage. For example, like the photo competition, the video competition, the youth dialogue for ASEAN, and all of this to engage people into ASEAN affairs. These are also potential opportunity for our young people to engage and to learn more about ASEAN knowledge, and also to get the platform to discuss about ASEAN affairs. And other than that, I think the implication is that you see the commitment of the organization, you see the commitment of Cambodia as the chair, and commitment of ASEAN that put youth in the agenda of the chairmanship. That means it's good for us to raise also awareness to the youth that they don't really know the opportunity. When they know, they can also engage and learn from this opportunity provided. So, but beyond that, it doesn't mean that they want you to engage only in the year that they celebrate the youth, but actually the opportunity is every year. The many programs that you can see related to ASEAN and traveling into ASEAN countries and all of this to exchange your ideas and learn new knowledge and all of this. Yeah.
so thank you, Bong, for your question. Bong Sambat, would you like to answer the question, Bong?
Okay, so I think, yep, like Bong Chai mentioned, what I want to add is, I think the opportunity that you can, know what it is, and also take this opportunity to contribute back to the current context, because right now, because we are the chair of ASEAN, we have to do something, to contribute, like maybe not by creating something, but by participate. So I think this is my take to that. Take the opportunity to contribute as much as you can.
So thank you, Bong, for the answer. So we have a question from the audience.
So we have one more question as well, again from the audience in the registration form. I think this question we somehow talk about it, but again, ask this from the audience. So Cambodia is the ASEAN chairmanship amid some uncertain time due to the pandemic, China and the U.S. confrontation in Asia Pacific, and the Myanmar crisis. What are the main challenges Cambodia face in this chairmanship, and how to overcome the challenge?
I think,
Yes, I think
yeah, Bong, if you have something to add, we can.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we are talking about the superpower or the major power geopolitical rivalry here, and Cambodia right now is the ASEAN. So we can see there's all eyes are on the ASEAN region, specifically the Indo-Pacific region. So we can see that EU, they have their own Indo-Pacific strategy. Americans, they have their free and open Indo-Pacific strategy. So these kind of strategy, they tend to have some like intentions or motivation to come, to have more engaged or to increase their presence within the regions, especially United States after the withdrawal of the 20-year-long war of Afghanistan. So United States tend to look at the strategic location or the strategic interest inside the Indo-Pacific, especially the ASEAN as a whole. So we know like the ASEAN is a group of the country that tend to promote the neutrality. As we already know that the first establishment of ASEAN is to contain the spread of both capitalism or communism. We tend to try to promote our own neutralities in the bipolar worlds. But right now, after the fall of the Soviet Union and after the approaching of the multipolar world, ASEAN has played more important role into promote the development, especially the security and stability of the region. So as we already know that we as an Asian, we do not support any like superpower engagement regarding to promotion of arms race within our regions. For example, there's a lot of like exchange, of idea over the concept of AUKUS or Quad. So we do not want any like superpower to engage more to further divide our Asians. We need to promote our unity, solidarities. Even though each of our own country have their own national interests, we know we accept that. But as long as it does not pose serious threats to Asian unities, it is okay. You can engage with any superpower.
So thank you both for the answer. And do we have any question more? Okay.
Okay, so first of all, good morning to all the panelists and also the moderator as well and everyone in this hall. So I have a question regarding today we are talking about youth diplomacy, like young people. So as what I have observed myself, I can see that more of the activities and also the involvement mostly happen for youth in the big city like Phnom Penh or Siem Reap, Battambang or in other provinces, but not countrywide yet. So right now, what would be the suggestion or the things that you would advise to people, both youth and also the people involved in this type of work, like promoting the understanding of ASEAN and those type of things to youth to actually do to allow young people from other area of Cambodia to understand about ASEAN? And also, is there any program that you would actually recommend for them to actually join, like the existing program, both in the country or international? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's quite a good to discuss about that as well. But firstly, you need to admit that it's a bit, of course, centralized in Phnom Penh city. Also, the good university, good schools, good programs for Phnom Penh students. Last year, I went to Battambang for CAS program, the International Relations Outreach. We talked to the National University of Battambang. We see the problems, but with our limited capacity, we cannot say that we fully support, and we also can have them immediately by funding, because it's also a big project, the funding internship abroad or exchange program abroad and all of this. But I think the opportunities is there. The thing is how they get informed. But I still believe in the power of social media. Sometimes you might not disagree, I know, but the thing is, it's depend on the quality of applications. Firstly, the program conducted in English. So how much English proficiency that they can actually achieve, and also to be qualified for the program. That's the problem. And I don't know who to put blame because of the English proficiency, whether it's about system or it's about the opportunity that they don't have English school in the rural area. That's all of that. Because ASEAN exchange program and conference and all of this will be conducted in English. And this is the language barrier. But with the requirement of all the program I mentioned, they don't specifically state it that you must be from Phnom Penh. Because mostly it's for university students. As long as you study university, it depends on how qualified they are to be admitted to the program and all of that. I think everyone has the role to promote, especially the Facebook, the social media, and all of this. The government has the role, the university has the role, the youth in Phnom Penh that you already get the opportunity, you also has the role to spread out the information, the program that you would like to recommend and all of that. I hope it can be reached to the university in the province of that. So it depends on how to say, when I talk to them, I feel like they don't really get exposed enough. So it also affects on somehow the personality that they don't really open up to the to talk more with the strangers and all. That's also one of the points, that you're willing to talk with other people, even though you qualify for the program. I mean, if you don't talk to people, it's also not so much benefit when you join the exchange program, the conference, that you don't talk to people and all of that. So I hope everyone can play a role, and they also can play a role themselves to get themselves exposed more to the opportunity available, especially online. I believe most people apply any programs through online platform. They know the information, and we regularly host the information session as well, be it scholarship, even wisely or academic program of other university. We often also have the information sharing session. So yeah, that would be my point. If you have any.
Okay, so the reason why I think that people at the province, they don't really get enough, or maybe have the same opportunity that we here in Phnom Penh. I think when talking about ASEAN, I think to them it's way more pretty much academic. And when we talk about ASEAN, maybe, okay, they think we focus on a lot of serious stuff, and which is the things that they don't understand. So if we have the ability to actually convey the topic of ASEAN into something entertain, or something that is pretty much okay for them to understand, that means that is very good. Because here in Phnom Penh, like Bong Chai said, we are very good at English. The way that we can access to information are all mostly in English, so the one who understand English can get the information, right? But I want you to consider one point, maybe this one initiative that happened in Cambodia, but it's not about ASEAN, it's about the social understanding of social issue. You may have heard of Loi Prambun, right? It's an initiative by BBC Action, Media Action in Cambodia. So I think when we talk about, the civic participation, maybe, it's boring, this topic is, no, it's not my thing. But if we have the ability to create an initiative like Loi Prambun, the way that they convey the message, it's very interesting, and many youths at province, they very interested in the program. When we sometimes we call each other, okay, Loi Prambun, something like that. So back to ASEAN, if we have the ability, or the opportunity to convey the message to Cambodians at the province, I think it is a very, very great for them to actually have the opportunity to participate as in Cambodia as well. Convey the message of ASEAN into a simple term, so that they can also understand as well. So this is it for me. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Bong, for the answer. So right now, our panel discussion has come to an end. So thank you, Bong, panelists, for spending your valuable time to come here giving your concise opinion on the topic of the youth diplomacy, especially for the ASEAN Chairmanship for 2022. Now I would like to give the floor back to the MC.
Thank you. I would like to take the floor and thank you once again, our panelists today, for discussing the topic youth diplomacy, defining what is youth and diplomacy, what are some of the opportunities we may find, and some of the positive consequences. And now that the discussion of the youth diplomacy in ASEAN 2022 and the questions and answer session have come to an end, I would like to thank our panelists today again and our moderator for a very engaging discussion and the insightful answers earlier. It is now almost time for today's program to come to an end. We are grateful to have Ms. Kanyaput and her company making this event happen. Please give her a round of applause as we welcome her on stage to deliver her closing remarks. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. My name is Vidya Kanyapek. I am a program officer and also the lead of SEAkers in Dialogue, which is a flagship program of the Young Seekers Cambodia. And it is my pleasure to be giving a closing remark today. So at TOS Cambodia, there's one saying that we always said together is teamwork makes the dream work. And I think that today is when this event is a evidence, is a testimony that this statement is true. And I very happy that this event went very successfully. Before I go any further, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our three esteemed speakers who took their time and shared their knowledges and make this event very insightful and very engaging. And secondly, I would like to thank to Singapore Cambodia International Academy for being our venue sponsors and has been always so cooperative, so supportive of all of our projects and events. And thirdly, I would like to say thank you to our audience who joined us here physically today and also joined us through our Facebook live stream. You guys made this event a successful one today, and I'm very appreciative of that. Last but not least, I would like to say thank you to the organizing committee, the people who's behind all of this that make all of our program and project possible, the Young Seekers Cambodian team. As youth, as a nonprofit US organization, we truly believe in the role of youth. We believe that youth can make an impact. And while we understand that youth cannot make decision in the high level ranking decision or issues, but we understand that youth can make decision for our future that will eventually be impactful for our society as a whole. This is why a lot of our programs touch upon a lot of the issues that is pressing in today's society. And so let me take this time to promote our upcoming event, which will be coming on the 30th of this month, which is intergenerational dialogue, which will be inviting women from different age groups to come and discuss about their pursuits of career and education. And we'll be also celebrating the 55th anniversary of ASEAN. We will be hosting the Ambassador Youth Town Hall, as well as in the very upcoming month, very soon, we will be celebrating youth from 10 other ASEAN countries under our program Seekers Go, where they will come to Cambodia to learn and understand more about our culture and society as a whole. So these are the events in the upcoming month. So I hope that our audience and the people who have been enjoying the Young Seekers Cambodia can look forward to that. And before I end my remark, I would like to present a small gift token of appreciation toward our guest speaker.
May I invite Bong Lam Chai first to receive some small gift from Bong Kenya, please? I would like now invite Bong Sambat on the stage. Please also give us a round of applause as we invite Bong David. Thank you. Thank you. Before this program comes to an end, I would like to ask for your attention to complete a 5-minute survey. Thank you. Yes, you can come down. Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Everything is good, love and green. That I'm red again. One of those suppose I'm coming down. I can see clearly, so high in the sky. And then it's like a day.
Now, firstly, I would like to invite our guest speakers for a picture with the three of you. And we can proceed for a picture with all of the guest audience and the organizing committee. Thank you.
Set up the speaker Shiva. Oh, you and I go deeper. Maybe I hard to get by.
And now I would like to invite everybody to the stage, please. For our DC team, is it possible for you to come downstairs as well?